Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into ParkCity Botanika. It's this huge new master plan township taking shape in Cyberjaya.
That's right. And the big question we're tackling for you is whether it can genuinely live up to the hype, replicate the success of its predecessor and become a real benchmark for living and investing there.
Exactly. So our mission today, as always, is to sift through the sources, the articles, the research, the notes we've gathered.
Yeah, we'll unpack the developer's background, look at their track record, dissect this ambitious master plan for Botanica, and also the whole Cyberjaya context, which is pretty unique.
The goal, to pull out the key insights, the crucial bits of information you need, whether you're maybe thinking of buying a home there or looking at it as an investment.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the developer, ParkCity Group. You really can't talk about them without mentioning Desa ParkCity or DPC.
Absolutely legendary. They took an old quarry in Klang Valley and turned it into one of the most desirable places to live. It's famous for this holistic, community-focused lifestyle.
Right. It's not just houses. It's parks, schools, shops, clinics, all walkable. It creates this real sense of community you don't often find. And Botanica is explicitly drawing inspiration from that DPC formula.
It's their proven blueprint, basically. But, it's interesting because while that DPC legacy is super strong, there was that recent issue there, the Park City Tower controversy.
Ah, yes, I remember reading about that. Some public pushback?
Yeah, exactly. A group called Parents for Safer Schools raised concerns about a planned 46-story tower near a school. It kind of highlights that tension, doesn't it, between, commercial goals and keeping the community happy.
That's a really good point, especially for Botanica with its, 15-year development timeline. That's a long time to keep everyone on board.
It really is. It makes you wonder how they'll manage that community engagement proactively over such a long build-out, learning from past experiences.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, so let's pivot from the developer's history to Botanica's grand vision itself. We're talking 259 acres, freehold land.
And a massive estimated GDV gross development value of RM 7.3 billion. That number signals huge commitment, a really significant scale of development planned over those 15 years.
It really frames the ambition here. The core idea is this township in a park. They brought in some big names for the design, too.
Right. Gale Architects, famous for that 15-minute city concept where everything you need daily is close by, walkable or bikeable, and Grant Associates for the landscaping.
And the green space sounds impressive. 66 acres dedicated to landscapes, parks, water features. And that central Botanica Avenue sounds much wider than the walkways in DTC.
Yeah, 1.8 kilometers long, and they're saying 10-15 meters wide in parts. It's designed to be a real green spine for the whole community, more generous perhaps than even DPC.
So if we zoom out, the master plan aims for Botanica to be pretty self-sufficient.
Exactly. A self-contained ecosystem is the goal. They're planning a mall, an international school, even a hospital, plus the Park City Club facilities. It ticks all the boxes for convenience.
And the housing mix is interesting, too. It's not all high-end landed properties.
No, and this is crucial. Over half, 55% of the planned 7,400 homes are actually condominiums, serviced apartments, and some affordable housing, too.
That feels like a deliberate strategy, maybe addressing Cyberjaya's old reputation.
I think so. Cyberjaya used to get labeled a ghost town sometimes because maybe it lacked that critical mass, that social vibrancy early on. This diverse housing mix seemed designed to combat that directly.
Right, to build a more varied, more integrated community right from the start, hopefully creating that buzz.
Hopefully. It's about creating that population density and social fabric.
So speaking of homes, the first launch is at Diva Park homes. What are those like?
These are 147 freehold homes, quite low density. Starting prices are around RM 1.3 million.
Okay, so definitely positioned at the premium end to start. Any standout features?
Well, they seem quite thoughtfully designed for modern families. Things like a ground floor bedroom, which is great for, multi-generational living.
Oh, that's practical.
And this flexible me space in the master bedroom. You could use it as a home office, a small gym, whatever you need. Very relevant after the whole work from home shift.
That me space idea is smart. Okay, so that's the product, but what about the place? Cyberjaya itself, you mentioned its context is key.
Absolutely. Cyberjaya is going through a bit of a resurgence. People are calling it Cyberjaya 2.0. There's been huge foreign investment pouring in, especially into data centers.
Right, like that massive Vantage data centers campus, the $3 billion one.
Exactly, and that attracts a highly skilled workforce. Engineers, tech professionals. Plus, the MRT connectivity has improved things, too.
So this economic growth provides a solid foundation for property demand in the area. It's not just speculative building.
That's the idea. It creates genuine demand for quality housing and the kind of integrated lifestyle Botanica is offering. It underpins the potential for value appreciation.
Okay, let's try and boil this down then. The pros and cons for you, the listener.
All right, for investors, the big pro is the potential for capital growth. You've got the proven ParkCity brand premium. Their projects tend to command higher values.
Plus those new economic drivers in Cyberjaya 2.0 we just talked about, and maybe a first-mover advantage getting into this specific township early.
Exactly. And for potential residents, it's the chance to buy into that desirable DPC-style lifestyle, the well-designed master plan, the modern homes with those thoughtful features.
But there are trade-offs. We mentioned the big one.
The timeline. That 15-year construction period, it means living on essentially a building site for a while. Full amenities won't be there on day one.
Yeah, you need patience. And for investors, that likely means low rental yields initially. The sources suggest maybe 2–4%.
Which, let's be honest, probably won't cover the mortgage on a RM 1.3 million property at first. So you need holding power. You need to be in it for the long haul.
It really is a bet on the developer delivering on that promise to create the Desa ParkCity of the South, as some are calling it.
Precisely. A calculated bet.
So, wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you? ParkCity Botanika looks like one of the most significant new developments in the Klang Valley region, no doubt. It's transplanting a successful formula into this evolving Cyberjaya context.
The potential rewards look immense, potentially, but they really are, as you said, reserved for the patient.
Absolutely. Patience seems to be the watchword here.
So maybe a final thought for you to mull over. Beyond the blueprints and the billions in GDV, what truly makes a community thrive from scratch? And are you personally willing to invest not just your money, but your patience in that long-term vision?
A critical question to ponder. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.